Okay, I'm live. Just gonna wait for more people to show up. For some people to show up because there's no one here right now. Hey ladies. Hello, 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 welcome. Welcome. Hope you all are doing well today. I know it's been a while here on the gram. Alright, so last week I was gonna go live last week, but the day that I was gonna go live was the day when Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and everything was down. So I ended up going live on YouTube, something that I never really do, and it was okay. It was a good live. But I like doing the Instagram lives because I rarely ever post anything on here. So sometimes I just wanna go live on here every week. Just to please the algorithm. All right, I may have to turn the fan on at some point because it's pretty hot. Where's the remote? Okay, it's pretty hot. So if you hear the fan going, there's that. So today we're going to talk about engagement as opposed to marriage. And we're going to talk about when you can officially consider yourself off of the market. And when I say off the market, I mean off the dating and marriage market, of course. Hi, je suis J. Hi, girl. Yeah, so when what I mean is obviously off the marriage and market, and you gotta know when is the right time to to know when you're actually off the market. And then what's wrong with this thing anyway? Then I'm going to talk about when is it okay to post your boyfriend, your fiance, whoever on your social media. So let's talk about that. I think we have enough people here, so I guess I can get started. Of course, you can catch a replay. But before I get started, let me just remind you all that this Thursday on Patreon, we are having a very, very important meeting on Patreon. And I would love for you ladies to be there. This is going to be a good meeting because we're gonna talk about sex, and this is something that nobody talks about in the hypergamous level of community. And it's not gonna be, how to please a man or anything like that. I'm gonna go in deep psychologically and spiritually, talk about the psychological and spiritual aspects of sex. And it's going to be a very important meeting, and I would like for you all to be there. If you haven't signed up to my Patreon, go to the link in my bio and sign up. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the link in the description and sign up and come to that meeting. All right. The name of the topic is Stop Having Circus Sex, because there's a lot of women out there doing some desperate things for these men and putting sex workers out of business. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about all types of sex. All right. So make sure you come. This is going to be important, and I promise you it's going to leave you with a whole new perspective on sex and your future sexual relations. So let's get started. Right, so let's talk about when you can officially consider yourself off the market. Now, I want to talk about engagement really quick because I know when a woman gets engaged, it's very exciting. It's an exciting experience because you're thinking, well, okay, you're getting closer and closer to your goal. Obviously, if your goal is marriage. So, sorry, my cat has distracted me. So, once you get that engagement, the next step is setting the date, planning the marriage, and then obviously the marriage itself. So there are a lot of women that are in some questionable situations when it comes to engagement, and I just want to what's the word? I don't want to call out anyone or anything like that because this topic is obviously inspired by what happened here on Instagram over the past week. There was a beautiful young lady here on Instagram that also offered matchmaking services to her followers. Very beautiful. She was dating this guy. We were under the impression that they were married. Turns out that they weren't even married. Turns out that they were engaged. Then only to find out that the engagement was off because of prenup negotiation or whatever. So it's pretty sad. It looks like they are pretty much done. They are both, as far as I know, allegedly they are both on back on online dating. Her page is gone. Some of you already know who this is, but it's just a very unfortunate situation to see. And this is why I want to talk about this, so that you ladies can protect yourself, because an engagement is not a contract. It really isn't. An engagement is basically a promise for marriage. If a man proposes to you, he is promising that he's going to marry you. Give me 1 second. Let me go open the door and put that cat out. You all probably heard. Listen, stocks don't leave the market until the company no longer exists. Why should I think I am off the market if I'm engaged or married? Absolutely, I love that. That mindset, Aisha. I love it. I'm not dead. I can still date until my dying day, right? So yeah, because I did a poll, and of course, I don't even want to say I'm surprised by the results, because I'm not surprised, because sometimes I do forget that I do have a lot of newbies following me. Some people just stumble upon me and they probably don't know what I'm about or anything like that. But you have to develop a sort of savage mindset when it comes to dating and marriage. All right, you are single until married. A proposal, an engagement is a promise for marriage. It is not a legal binding contract. Marriage is a legal binding contract. Okay, it's a contract that is recognized by the government, recognized by the law of the land, globally, etc. All right, that's how important marriage is. So when you hear people telling you that marriage is just a piece of paper, it's all bullshit. It is not. It is a contract. All right, that marriage certificate that you get. Okay, I'll bring mine out and show it to you all, but I don't want you all to see my my husband name or anything like that. But if you look. Anyways, when you get a marriage certificate, that is your contract. All right, that's basically a copy of the contract. Both of you, usually both parties, sign the contract. Exactly right. Engagement is a promise of marriage and not a guarantee. So what I'm trying to tell you, ladies, is that you are still single. When you are engaged, you are single with a ring. That's it. You single with a ring. Period. All right. So women need to start getting relationship agreements or contracts, right? So a promise is a comfort to a fool. That's a saying that we have here in my country. So do not go by a promise and completely take yourself off of the market. All right. So no, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take your engagement seriously. However, there are some things that you have to take into consideration so that you know that the engagement is serious. First of all, if he gives you a ring and he asks you to marry him and you both engage, and there is no wedding date at all, no wedding date in sight, that's a red flag. Because if there's no wedding date, then when are you going to get married? He is not going to marry you. All right? There has to be a date. When me and my husband decided to get married, we had set the date. In my country, you have to go and place a bond. So basically, that's something that you have to do legally. So, and it's public record. So just in case that you or the other person is married to someone else and they are about to commit bigamy, because in some countries you can be married to someone else, obviously, too, and then marry someone else. You can't do that because it's against the law. You can get fined for that. You may even go to jail for that. I'm not exactly sure how serious it is, but it's serious. So this is the reason why you place a bond. And when you place a bond, you have to be married within 6 months of that bond. If you are not married within 6 months, you'll have to do it again. So we already know that we were going to be married before the 6 month. So we set the date and everything right then and there. We set the date. So I knew that we were gonna get married. It's no longer an engagement. If engagement, it becomes a shut up ring. Okay, let me read that comment again. That is so funny because I know people listening on YouTube can't see the comments. It's no longer an engagement. It becomes a shut up ring, right? Like, shut up and leave me alone, okay? I don't want to marry you, but I want to keep, wasting your time, okay, for lack of better term. But anyways, oh my God, that's a good comment. But yeah, that's what we do. I do not know how it's done in the United States. I know most of the people that follow me here are in fact in the United States. All right. There was a time that I was engaged. All right. I was engaged at one point before I met my husband to one of my exes, and we bought a ring. He bought a ring and everything like that, and there was no date in sight. Like, I couldn't get this guy to set a date with me to save I couldn't do it. And guess what? Turned out that we never got married. So if someone is giving you a ring and they're not setting a date for when you to get married, and you're not putting plans in action, I would be very, very worried about that. The 10-year engagement, girl, those are they need to just stop. Just admit it. Stop wasting our time and stop putting up our hopes up. Why doesn't Instagram change in my words? I don't know. It promises a comfort to a fool. You said it. I was thinking it. Yeah, it's a saying here in my country. I'm sure it's I have to put the fan on, so sorry if you hear the noise in the back. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, 10 years, 5 kids. Both their house their names are on the mortgage and stuff like that. They share mortgages and stuff like that, but no marriage. That is very unhealthy, and I wouldn't encourage a situation like that. But ladies, you gotta be honest with yourself. If you are engaged right now and there's no date for marriage, you may be in trouble, and you need to put your foot down and get this guy to secure a date so that you all can move on with your plans of marriage. All right? Because at the end of the day, a marriage with an engagement with no date in sight is a red flag, and you are setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for getting your time wasted. And you do not know what can happen within the 5 years or 10 years that you engage with this person. You can pop out like 3 babies for this guy and never get the ring, not the ring, the marriage. Like, please don't do that, because at the end of the day, engagement, an engagement that you're still single. Engagement without a wedding date set is single with a ring. All right. Sometimes you look back and say, thank God I didn't do what I thought then that I wanted, right? So all right, so let's talk, because I want to keep this quick. Let's talk about when is it okay to flaunt your man on social media. And I know I'm using that. I wouldn't go so far as flaunting, because some of these girls be flaunting these men on their social media only to break up and be humiliated. You don't want to do that, because no man should be, any man that is not your husband shouldn't be on your social media. I'm sorry. This may be the first time you're hearing this, but just because he posts you on social media, or you post him, doesn't mean that you're no longer single and that you're official. Stop posting these men on your social media. Stop sharing. Like, stop it. Don't even let them tag you. If you are just dating, don't even let them take a picture of you, because they could be taking pictures of you to go and show off to their homeboys. Like, you don't want to do that. Let me read this comment. With the Harveys, when Marjorie asked him when the wedding would be, he gave her the runaround. Right then, she took the ring off and tried to give it back to him. He said, give me 6 months. Wow, y'all. That woman need to write a book, okay? Like, write the book already, Marjorie. I'll buy it. I'll literally be the first in line. I'm going to pre-order that shit. Okay? You never post a man on your social media that is not your husband. All right? If you ever see a man on my social media, he is either my husband or I got paid to post his ass on social media, because I'm not gonna post you up on social media for free or anything like that. All right? And he has to pay me a lot of money to post him on social media. I'm that fucking serious. All right? Stupid single. That's a good one, Aisha. Aisha, you're on fire today. So, again, to answer that question, when do you post your man on social media? After the wedding. All right, the first picture that you should post of that man on your social media is your wedding picture. That was the first picture I ever posted with my husband on social media. All right. My cousin doesn't even follow my fiance on social media. She won't post him. Okay. Or she doesn't follow her fiance. Yeah, I unfollowed my husband. And because of what I do, because I do want to protect my marriage, and there's a lot of catty people in this community, people with bad intentions, people, So I basically put all my wedding pictures on private, because when I posted those pictures on social media back then, like 8 years ago, I only had like 50 friends on Facebook. I posted it on Facebook. I didn't post it on Instagram. I literally had just 50 friends. Most of them were close friends and families. That was it. All right. If someone that does like social media stuff like me, I wouldn't even recommend that you do that, because now this girl she went out and basically publicly, because I'm talking about this because I can, because this was something that was public. She made that post public. It was a public declaration that they were done, etc. After you had flaunted that man all over your social media, and he was all over her page. Like he was like literally her profile picture and everything. And then you come out and you telling your followers that, hey, the wedding is off, blah blah blah. Please pray for me, yada yada yada. I'm broken. I feel heartbroken. I don't feel protected. What do you think is happening? All them bitches are sliding in his DM. All of them. Well, obviously not all. But a lot of women are going to slide in his DMs, because as far as they're concerned, he's single. Which is true. Everyone is fair game. Before marriage, everyone is fair game. Alright? Well, I talked about posting your kids on social media extensively on this platform. I'm sure I've mentioned it here on Instagram. I'm sure I've mentioned it on YouTube, on the picture, and in the private group. Yeah, she put him on a pedestal. She absolutely did. Which was sad, and I really hope she learned her lesson. And I'm a little bit concerned because she's in her late 30s, y'all. And I'm like, you in your late 30s and you acting like you never had a man before? Like, sis, what the hell is going on? Never put a man on a pedestal. You gotta maintain a certain level of mystery, because a man doesn't, you see, when a man gets comfortable, he gets comfortable because he felt like he has conquered you. Alright? So, like I always recommend that movie. There's a movie on Netflix right now called A Simple Favor. I know some people, I heard that some of you don't have it in the US. I heard you don't have access to that movie, which is unusual. But the name of the movie is A Simple Favor. If you can find a movie, or maybe 1 to 3 movies, watch that movie. It's a movie with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. And the Blake Lively character, just pay attention to the dynamics in her relationship and her marriage. She was very mysterious. She had a lot of secrets. Very self-centered, very selfish, basically what we're trying to become. And he said I think on more than once, he said this a couple times in the movie. He said that I feel like I've never known my wife. I never knew my wife. And because of that, he always felt like he was always chasing her, because he never knew her. She disappeared. Turns out that she had a twin sister. He was married to her, had a kid with her, and he didn't even know that. And I was like, wow, now that's what you call mystery. But that's mystery to the point where it's really toxic though. But it's a good movie. You guys should check it out. What do you think about Kevin Samuels rating women? I can't stand him, and I unfollow everyone who follows him. Well, I'm indifferent, because honestly, I don't watch his content. And at the end of the day, he's not just rating women, because these women are putting themselves, are volunteering themselves to be rated. So, it is what it is. I have no thoughts about it. I am very much indifferent. And this is what you ladies have to learn to do. You have to learn how to be indifferent and stoic, because on my Patreon, I talked about stoicism and dating. If you are a member of the Patreon Elegantly Fancy, what I will do when I get off of this live, go on the Patreon and search stoicism in dating or something like that, and go and watch. Well, not watch, listen, because most of our meetings are audio that is done on Zoom. It's kind of like a podcast sort of format. All right. So I would recommend that you go and you listen to that. I think I made a post on the Charm and Opulence group, which is the free group, and the link is in the description if you're not in that group on Facebook. Not the paid group, the free group. I made a post on that talking about being stoic when dating and dealing with men and being indifferent. Because if you are not indifferent, it means you care. You care too much. And I honestly do not care what people like, Kevin Samuels do. He has a right to get on the internet and share his thoughts and opinions. I cannot police his thoughts. At the end of the day, if you pay attention to him, guess what? He's not going to go away. He's going to be there forever as long as black women pay him attention. The reason why a lot of these men can get up on there and get all those followers and get that attention is because we give them the attention. Attention is energy, and where energy goes, attention flows. All right? So, again, I don't care. He has his platform, he has his followers. They are listening to him because they like what they are listening to, what they're hearing. Some women are listening to him because they hate him because it comes with the territory. There are some people that follow me on YouTube, even here on Instagram and Facebook. People follow me and they don't like me. They hate my guts, but they follow me anyways. So if you hate him and you can't stand him, take your attention away from him. If people are posting him and supporting him, just block them, snooze them, or do whatever you want to do. You gotta do, because I don't hear anything about him. The only time I hear about this guy is when you guys ask me about him. All right. So again, this is how I know how far someone is on their hypergamous journey. Because if you focus on the wrong thing instead of focusing on your goals and your journey, it's going to take you a very, very long time to actually achieve your goals, if at all. Girl, I'm watching this showing, and this old boy love bombing this girl. I feel so uncomfortable watching. You watching a show? Okay. Love bombing. You don't see him anymore. Yeah, I don't see him on my timeline anymore, because I told the ladies, like, you all need to stop sharing this stuff. You all need to stop talking about him, because you put in energy. All right, and that's why he keeps striving. That's your energy that you put in towards this person. Give me 1 second. There's someone at my. Oh. There's someone at my front gate. I do not know what the hell he's looking at. Looking in my yard. That is weird. Who are we talking about? Someone asked a question about Kevin Samuels. So, anyways, either here or there, I do not care. I don't care what these men have to say. They have a right to get on the internet and build a platform, build an audience. Just as how we have a right to come on here and talk about hypergamy, or some people call it gold digging. We have a right to be here because this is our space here on the internet. Okay, so focus on the space that is helping you. All right, that's all. Just focus on the things that you want in life. All right. I can't tell her that he is love bombing her because it is a show. Okay. Okay. Don't worry about it, girl. I know I stopped watching shows, Hollywood, just programming with everything. Yeah, I don't watch it because everyone is talking about this show called Squid Game, and I believe it's a dystopian theme show. And I would listen. If I were you, I would avoid watching those shows. Everybody's watching it and talking about it and giving it energy. When we give energy to these things, they can become our reality. Because a lot of people believe that what we're going through right now is a dystopian type scenario. You know what we're going through right now in the world right now. Okay, a lot of people believe that it's the end times. A lot of people have a lot of beliefs right now about that. So stop giving these type of shows your attention. You don't need to watch it. All right, there is YouTube. You can follow people whose messages resonates with you. Yes, you have a right to be a mindset zombie and malleable, and I have a right to think for myself. Right, absolutely. The show is demonic. I heard a voice in my spirit when I saw just the trailer. Ooh, wow. It was boring. I only watched one episode. Yes, mass subconscious manifestation. Yeah, and that's something that we have to talk about because with the hypergamy such like level of community, a lot of people don't talk about the spiritual aspects of the leveling up and getting to your goals. So eventually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new tier on my Patreon where we can talk about those stuffs because there is so much to talk about, y'all. There's a lot to talk about, and I try my best, to come up with these topics every single week because we get on the Patreon every week for the book club. Oh, by the way, as you guys are here, let me just make a quick announcement about the book club. Now, we just finished reading Fate is Your Fortune by Neville Goddard because you cannot be successful with hypergamy without the manifestation and the spiritual aspect of it. I don't care what anyone tells you because strategy is one thing, but manifesting is way easier than all the strategy and all this stuff and all this work that we put in. All right. So we just finished that book. The next book we're gonna do, not this week, the following Sunday, not this Sunday, coming the following Sunday. We because usually when we are done reading a book, I take a break, like 1 week break. So we're gonna come back and the next book we're gonna read is The Power of the Pussy. So if you are interested in coming together and reading and discussing that book with us, hit the link in my bio or the link in the description if you are watching on YouTube, and sign up to the Patreon. In order for you to have access to the book club, you must purchase the study group tier on my Patreon. I have 2 tiers, all right? The second tier, you get access to the weekly meetings and as well as the book club meetings and all the recordings and everything like that. So the next book we're going to do is Power of the Pussy. I can't wait. It was highly requested and it's going to be good, all right? So make sure you'll come. That's going to be a good one. Hey, official auntie. I love you, girl. Also programming, seeing humans as basically animals. Wow. Yeah. That mass subconscious manifestation thing is no joke. It's serious. It's real. It's real. So when you see something that is being overblown in the media or on social media or something is going viral, what is happening there is energy being extracted. It's an energy extraction ritual. Every time you see something crazy going viral on the internet, or they're coming up with these crazy shows where everyone is talking about it, your energy is being extracted. Your attention, because I told you guys this, attention is the new currency. So if you're out here allowing these people, allowing the external reality to steal your attention away from yourself, because you need to put most of your attention, if not all, on yourself. All right, putting all your attention on yourself, I mean that might be a reach, but the majority of your attention, at least 80% of your attention, should be on yourself, self-improvement, becoming the better version of yourself, and focusing on your goals. If you spend a lot of time on the internet and you spend a lot of time on gossip forums and watching up all these shows on Netflix, wasting time, giving your attention to dusties, like if you spend all of that time doing all of that stuff, arguing on the internet about hair and bonnets, if you're doing that stuff, do you really think that you're going to be successful on your journey? Do you think you're going to get to where you are trying to go? It's not going to happen. All right, it's going to take you a very, very long time. Like I told you all, focus is very important. Like you need laser focus on this journey. All right, so I swear to God, a lot of women in this community are focused on the wrong damn thing, and this is why we are struggling. This is why we have blocks and resistance when we manifesting. Recently we talked about pedestalizing men and wealthy people. Women have always, I feel like, not always, but I feel like especially now in these modern times, women have put men on a pedestal, and these men are getting away by doing the bare minimum, like literally the bare minimum. All right, men are doing the bare minimum, and some of them can't even do the bare minimum. Like a guy think that the only thing that he needs to do is have a job. I got a job. Why can't I get a girlfriend? Like why can't I get women? Okay, they think that that's all that they need to do, but it's so much more than that. All right, Because honestly, if you are not talking about multiple streams of income in 2021, I'm not interested. All right. If I was single and I was dating, and the guy is a lawyer, he needs to be more than just a lawyer. Because we don't demand much from men at all, and they are getting away by doing the bare minimum, and some of them can't even do the bare minimum, y'all. Some of them don't have a job. Some of them still live with their parents. They have a multiple baby mamas. They live in their basement, following MGTOW and red pill. They are wasting a lot of time, and then they wonder why their life is in shambles. You gotta pay attention to where you put your energy, where you focus your attention. All right. What one job can do, girl? One little pandemic, and guess what? A lot of people out of a job like that. One little pandemic. Yeah, the bar is very low. Shadow work is no joke. I used to let my subconscious control me. Now in my dream, I'm still conscious and self-aware. That's amazing. And you cannot do it without self-awareness. If you lack self-awareness, you literally cannot do shadow work, which is why a lot of people that are narcissists, psychopaths, etc., you never see any kind of growth or any kind of change from these people, because they lack self-awareness. And if you lack self-awareness, inner work or shadow work cannot be done. So if you have self-awareness, just be grateful that you have self-awareness, because you have something that they don't have. All right. Yep, multiple streams of income is the answer, ladies. It really is, So, I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say concerning, engagement. If by the way, if you just join in, engagement, being engaged is still single, especially if you are engaged without a wedding date. You're just basically stupid single, and single with a ring. All right, that was a message that I wanted to share with you all today. And we also talk about when is it okay to post your man on social media. The only time it's okay to post your man on social media is after the wedding. Lack of self-awareness is a huge stumbling block for many people. Yeah, and some people will never ever be able to overcome that block. It will never happen, which is I feel bad for them, but that's life. So if anyone has any questions, I'm gonna hang on for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. So I'm gonna wait to see if I see any questions coming up. If you have any questions about our upcoming event on Thursday, if you have any questions about the book club, or you just have a regular question, just throw it out there, and I'll get back to you. I'll try to answer. I level up book reviews. Yes, I love the rings, the engagement rings. Yes, don't be out here stupid single and be single with a ring, because that poor girl literally took herself off the market and posted that man all over social media. All the guys that were looking at you, men that were admiring you, men that probably wanted to have a chance to get to know you, you literally cock block yourself. Exactly, no promise rings. How long after engagement should the date be set? No more than 6 months. No more than 6 months. Aisha said I have a question. Okay, ask your question, Aisha. It shouldn't be longer than 6 months. If it's longer than 6 months, then you have an issue, because like I said earlier, in my country, when you get engaged and you're going to get married, you have to set the date. In order for you to, before you can even get married, you have to place a bond, and the bond expires in 6 months. And the bond is basically me and this person plan to get married at such and such time, and during that time, within that 6 months, if someone come up and someone is like, hey, this is my husband, I'm married to this person, what he's doing getting married, that is the purpose of the bond. All right, and it expires in 6 months. So I think 6 months is a good time. You mentioned that the Patreon will be about circus sex. What if the woman has a fetish or a fantasy? Does she not tell her high value man? We're gonna talk about that on the Patreon. All right, we'll talk about that. Don't worry. I like the 6-month mark. Yeah. Okay, because there are some fantasies that should in fact remain fantasies. All right, but don't worry, we're gonna talk about that, girl. Okay. Uh, that's a good question. Any more questions? No, it's this Thursday. This Thursday on the Patreon. If you, aren't you on a Patreon? I think you're on a Patreon, CC, or is it someone else? I'm not exactly sure. No, but if you asking is then you're not. Just hit the link in my bio and sign up, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit the link in my description. And I'm loving the turnout today. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming to watch this live. I really do appreciate that. Not a bad turnout at all. But I think I'm gonna. You on the Patreon? Okay, yeah. It's this Thursday. All right, at 6 p.m. Eastern. When do they change the time? Because I usually go with New York time. All right, so I'm on Eastern time, so it's gonna be 6 p.m. Eastern. All right, ladies. What is your opinion on women who feel they can change a man or to a husband? That women like that are caught up in their female ego, because we have talked about the female ego before, and they think that they're special, and they think that I'm going to be the one to change him. You can't change anyone. People do not change, and if they do change, they change for themselves. They don't change for other people, because if you are out here changing for other people, it's not going to last long, because you're just going to go back to your default self anyways. So yeah, if a man, like for example, if a man is afraid of losing you, he'll change so that you stick around. But sometimes when people change, it's usually temporary change. So that's a female ego, and the female ego will have you out here looking really stupid, because a lot of women think that they have magic pussy, and they think that they can change a man, because they think that it's super special, because I'm not like other girls. Like, that type of I'm not like other girls mindset. That is something that's basically all a female ego. That's basically what that is, and it is setting you up for a lot of disappointment and heartache in the future. So people change for themselves, they do not change for other people. Any more questions? I hope that was helpful, Aisha. What advice do you have for people who have hit a bump in the road in leveling up? Pull back and reevaluate everything in your life, because sometimes because we talk about this on the Patreon, because I can't really go too much into this right now. I think you have a lot of questions, Aisha, and I think you should join the Patreon. What was the question? Yeah, sometimes there are things that we are doing that are causing blocks and resistance, which is why we hit a bump, or we we plateau, or we stuck. Sometimes once you identify what is going on, sometimes you have to go within, because at the end of the day, sometimes you really do have to go within to get the answers that you're looking for, instead of trying to get the answers without. So reevaluate your life right now, do a lot of reflection, because right now we are in the middle of Mercury retrograde, and you should be doing a lot of reflection, a lot of reevaluation, and everything like that during this time, instead of embarking on anything new or anything like that. So we have at least another 7 days before we get out of this Mercury retrograde period, and y'all, this one is very strong. It is this Mercury retrograde is humbling the fuck out of me right now. Okay, like I can't even. What about women who date men married on paper, but papers are filed and are waiting judgment? Is it safe to date such a guy? When you mean papers are filed, like, are you talking about a guy who is still married and filed for divorce? It depends on your goal. Because a man who is going through a divorce, especially if he wasn't the one that filed the divorce, because most men don't file for divorce. Usually it's the woman that initiates divorces. So in many occasions when a man is served with divorce papers, For some reason, most of them are surprised. They are shocked and they can't believe it. If he knew it was coming, or if it was a plan or something like that, I guess you can take the gamble, because you got to remember, if you want to go into this, you have to weigh the risk. All right, you got to outweigh the risk and the pros and cons, because this is a risk that you are taking at the end of the day, and you have to figure out if this person is worth the risk. So if it's something that he see coming and he know it's happening, that's fine. But if it was something that, yes, he's getting divorced, he knows he's getting divorced, but if he was taken by surprise, it's going to take him a very long time to overcome that, because some of these men will literally be on dates and stuff like that and constantly talking about the divorce or whatnot. Yes, he knew it was coming and he's awaiting judgment. All right, you have to decide for yourself, because I do not know the details or anything like that. I don't know if you want to talk about it more. You can book a consultation with me, but I do not know a lot of details or whatnot. You have to decide if it's worth the risk, because you have to remember that this is a risk that you're taking. You know the individual, and you know, as long as you understand that there are risks, because a lot of women go into these situations with thoughts, and they have like all these fairy tale type thoughts and beliefs. As long as you are very realistic, you know what's going on, you know the risk. All right, you got to be prepared that it may not work out. If you are okay with that, then go ahead. All right, so anyways, I think I'm going to end it here, because I think I've been here for a while. I stayed on much longer than I had planned to stay on. I hope that, you know, did I miss any questions? Magic pussy girl. Anyways, we talked about that on the Patreon, girl. Maybe you forgot. All right, so I'm gonna end the live here. I will upload the replay on YouTube soon. All right, bye ladies.